and Hazel and Belinda for reminding me not to sing. I don't know if I told you all that story. And I was on a deployment in Australia with the Marines, and we had a memorial service for a sailor, and leading the service, and the colonel's standing next to me, and during this one hymn, he kind of leans over and says, "Chaplain, we need to get you some singing lessons." Fortunately, I have the Word to rely on this morning and not my voice. We conclude the series during Lent from the Psalms with a Thanksgiving psalm, the 30th, one of the songs of reorientation. I will extol you, O Lord, for you have drawn me up and did not let my foes rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried to you for help, and you have healed me. O Lord, you brought me up from Sheol, restored me to life from among those who had gone down to the pit. Sing praises to the Lord, O you his faithful ones, and give thanks to God's holy name. For God's anger is but for a moment. God's favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may linger in the night, but joy comes with the morning. You have turned my mourning into dancing. You have taken off my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, so that my soul may praise you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to you forever. The word of God to the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
We come to Palm Sunday, a day that the church throughout the centuries has marked with festive music, but also with deep, deep fear and dread. Because while we celebrate and rejoice with the ages, the Lord is King. Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. I mean, those words are so ingrained in our spiritual DNA that even if you're not a child, you know what to do with palm branches. Even if it has been a while since you have been in a parade, you know what that today means. But the church has also dreaded this day because of the reminder that all that glitters is not gold, that the week ahead is fraught with peril. Now, perhaps you're one of those people who have never had a bad day. You're just one of those people that walks into a room and the world glows. No? Wow. Not all the time. All right. Maybe you're one of those people that walks into a room and some people glow. You may be one of those people that the world glows when you leave the room. I don't know. The psalmist speaks to us from across several millennia, at least 2,500 to 3,000 years ago. Somebody, after having come through a period of just awfulness, whether it was a great illness or a war or some economic crisis, whatever it was, the psalmist realized, wow, I'm still here. Somehow, I don't know how, I'm still here. What a moment that is. To realize that no matter what you have been through, you woke up this morning, opened your eyes, put your feet on the floor, and said, I'm still here. I know it's a question sometimes when you go to bed, or whether you even want to get out of bed in the morning. Maybe the day to come isn't going to be one of those Hallmark kind of days. It's going to be one of those days that you have dreaded for years. Maybe that was the day your child went off to school for the first time, or your child graduated for the last time, or you got the news that you had been dreading. Maybe, like the disciples, you had arrived in Jerusalem with the words of Christ ringing in your ears, I am going to Jerusalem to die. The disciples were hearing the same hosannas that Christ heard that day. They knew what it meant. They knew what it meant to welcome the Messiah into Jerusalem. Everybody there knew what it meant. I mean, that's what you do in Jerusalem. You welcome Messiahs. That's kind of what the place was built for. The city of David. But it's also where the prophets went to die. And so, with these hosannas echoing down the streets of Jerusalem, came the words, Friday is coming. In Israel, if you go to Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives is on one side of what is known as the Kidron Valley. I mean, not a valley like ours, but a valley nonetheless. Jesus had to cross that valley. The disciples had to cross it, knowing what was on the other side. Just recently, I think it's in Peru, I could be wrong, but I think it's Peru, they reopened the most dangerous path in the world. Now that right there should tell you, hello, why would you reopen the most dangerous path in the world? Hence the title. But somebody said, we can do this. We can reopen it, and people will use it. How nuts is that? Wait for it, yeah. There was a photographer who was there when this footbridge was reopened. And I've jumped out of airplanes. I've done some of those stupid things you do when you're young and indestructible. I looked at this footbridge and said, there's no amount of money, alcohol, threats, whatever you want to call it, that would get me on that bridge. That, my friends, is the point of Palm Sunday. Someone has rebuilt the most dangerous footbridge in the world and invites you to go for a stroll. Christ invited his followers to get on the path with him, to follow this dangerous road from the solid rock of the mountain and to make your way to the other side. That's what Palm Sunday is all about. Because you are being invited today to go on the most dangerous journey of your life. And I'm not talking about, well, fill in the blank of what the most dangerous journey is. It could be with your spouse for the first time. It could be with the kids to Florida. It could be Superwoman. But we all have to make those journeys. We all have to make those journeys to the hospital. We all have to make those journeys to say goodbye. We all have to make those journeys. But, as the psalmist tells us, weeping may last for the night, but joy comes with the morning. You wake up on one of those days that you're still crying in the morning. You don't know how you're going to make it through the day. And yet, with the next breath you draw, there's hope. Jesus offered his followers hope on the day that marks the beginning of the end. They didn't have to make that journey with him. They didn't have to step across the divide that marked it's okay here with I don't know there. It is an invitation that can only be given by Christ. We say and we sing, "Oh Jesus, I have promised to go with thee to the end." Well, that might mean leaving the safety and security of what we have known to put our feet on that dangerous path, trusting not in our own courage or in the architect of the bridge, but we can trust. We can trust that with each step, we mark the path where Christ has called us to follow. And when we reach the other side, we won't have to say, "I don't know how I made it. My eyes were closed the whole time. And yet somehow I got to this point." Christ is inviting you this morning to boldly go, well, you know the rest. except that's not the rest. To boldly go where he has already been. To boldly go where others may fear and call you foolish and dreamer and Christian. So that when you reach the other side, you won't have to say, how did I get here? Or why did I make the journey? But you'll be able to say, you have turned my mourning into dancing. You have taken off my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, so that my soul may praise you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to you forever. Well, my friends, forever starts today. Amen.
Amen.
I invite you to stand as you are able and we sing together the first verse of Sing My Tongue the Glory of God.